This is Lynda.
Hi, Lynda. It's Alicia.
Hi, Alicia. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Oh, good. Just running around today, acting like a normal human being.
Woo woo! I love it. That is great. Well, doctor told me that I should call you before your scheduled phone appointment and just make it easy on you, just interview you for the success story. That way I just ask you questions and then it'll be very easy.
That sounds good.
Okay, cool.
I'm totally ready to do that right now.
Okay, sweet. All right, so basically the first part of it is just, tell me about your symptoms before you came to see the doctor.
My symptoms were my heart was rapidly palpitating. Basically, upon waking, it would wake me up all throughout the night. So my heart was racing. Basically, I was having an extreme amount of emotions. I was waking up every morning crying and throwing up. And I was having major anxiety attacks, panic attacks associated with my heart palpitating as well. So I was just, even throughout the day, it was just like this and then it would be like this adrenaline rush constantly throughout the day. And I think that's what attributed my such nervousness in the morning, is that I basically was having anxiety in the middle of the night. And yes, I have a very busy life and I work full time with kids and all these things, but I've always been able to deal with my busy life. So I basically was just losing myself. I felt I had I'm going to walk away from my child here. Hang on.
Yeah.
I had serious thoughts of not wanting to live anymore. I mean, I was an emotional wreck. And then the physical symptoms were so overwhelming, and there was just no answers. And I suffered from Hashimotos, which is the underactive thyroid.
Yep.
So my regular doctors attributed it to the Hashimotos. And then I basically, it was just like I was just a wreck.
Yeah.
All day long. And I mean, I run my own company. I'm very successful, and these were not things that were conducive to my life. I had a major panic attack on an airplane on a business trip. I almost did not get on the flight. I just was literally it was really mostly my heart and my cortisol levels were just pumping. Like I would wake up just peaking, pumping, adrenaline, cortisol, my heart. And then that made me nauseous. And so I wasn't eating. I started losing weight. I was basically losing the will to live. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
And then basically from there, all those symptoms were consuming me for probably a good 3 or 4 months. And I found out about EBV, and by reading Anthony Williams' book, Medical Medium, Anthony Williams. And I found out about the connection between EBV and Hashimoto's. And I couldn't put the book down. And I thought, maybe this is what's going on. And so I went to my primary doctor and got tested for EBV. And sure enough, boom, my levels were crazy high. And so I put the pieces of puzzle together in that way. And then I searched for an EBV specialist and found Dr. Mather. Mm-hmm. And I just happened to have family that was down in LA because I live 14 hours away from Dr. Mather's office. Mm-hmm. And I talked to you, Alicia. I called you, and we talked for a long time, and I felt so comfortable with you, and it was like you knew exactly what was going on and that it was going to be okay, and I just thought, oh, my gosh, this was just a different way of approaching I've seen naturopaths, my regular doctors. I'm an herbalist myself. I've studied nutrition for 7 years. I have read many, many health books. I live an amazingly healthy lifestyle. I walk, I exercise, I am not overweight. I eat all organic veggies. My husband's a hunter. We eat local produce, grass-fed, all of those things. We were doing all the right things. I have an amazing water source. I'm super happy, positive person, and my life is amazing. I live by the ocean, and I have 2 wonderful boys. And so these symptoms were just not, it was very confusing for me. I was like, what's wrong with me? I thought I was like mental, like this is what happens when you hit menopause or whatever. And I even had women tell me that, like, oh, you're hitting menopause early, kind of thing. And it's not normal. That's what I found out after realizing EBV was the culprit. I just started researching it like crazy, found Dr. Mather and said, let's do this. There's not a lot of sort of EBV specialists, and it just made perfect sense for me to sign on with Dr. Mather, and I did. And I don't know if you're ready for me to go into that part.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me all about it.
Yeah, and so basically I talked with you quite a few times. There was even a day when I called and said, hey, I'm having this was before I came to Angels Longevity, and I was having really rough days, and I remember you talking me through it, like, hey, go for a walk, look at things, notice simple things, and it was like it just sort of grounded me and prepared me to get myself down there even. And mind you, this is a big deal. I had to yank my 2 kids out of school. I had to leave my husband for a month. I had to leave my company that I run on a daily, and this was a big deal for me. But I just somehow knew that this was going to be different, and this was going to help me. I'd never heard about UBI or ozone and some of the therapies that you guys were using. So I came in, and we had our first appointment with Dr. Mather, and the thing that struck me the most was how many tests she did right off the bat. It was just like, oh my gosh, I would have had to go to 18 different appointments at a regular MD's office to have gotten all those tests done, yet let alone they were just a given part of the protocol. I would have had to maybe even advocate for myself because the regular doctors they wouldn't have even known to test for these things, and so we started, obviously EBV was why I came down there, and she knew how to deal with it, and basically I started on the wellness program, and mind you, I have 7-8 years of nutrition background, and so everything was working for me. Everything was a fit. Like, okay, yes, I know nutrition is a huge part of this, and she put it so simply. It was just like genius. Like, look, there's something inside of you that is not supposed to be there, and or you're lacking something. You're lacking minerals. You're lacking this. there's something in you that's not supposed to be there, and we're going to get it out. And you're going to give your body what it needs. And it was just this, after all of my studies and all of my research, it just made so much sense. And so we found out that I was low in a few things, potassium, vitamin D, my progesterone, my hormones were not great, and so I started on progesterone with her. And my biggest thing was, to rewind a teeny bit, was that I wasn't sleeping.
Yeah.
So I hadn't slept in probably a couple months.
Wow.
And so that was my biggest thing when I came into Dr. Mather. I said, I am not sleeping. And this is driving me absolutely nuts. How can I heal if I don't sleep,
Right.
And so the progesterone was kind of her key ingredient. She said, this is going to help you sleep. And I just thought, wow, okay. I don't know a ton about hormones, but obviously she does. And so that was great. And so we fixed all the things I was lacking in, which is like, I don't understand why every doctor doesn't test for mineral deficiencies in your gut flora and these things that are so pertinent and apparent to your health. And so we fixed those things. She started me on the 10. I got a 10-pack of the vitamin C, which I started off on 25 grams and then went up to 50 grams. That, after 2 weeks, made me feel like a champion. I was like rocking out to music on the way back from my commute. This is, 2 weeks into treatment of doing the UBI and the vitamin C. And after learning about UBI, it just made perfect sense. I feel like it literally killed off the EBV. It just stopped it in its tracks. The vitamin C helped my body fight this now, to where my immune system now is just so ready to fight. And then the UBI sort of just knocked the whole virus down. And I started sleeping. I would say after a few weeks, 2 to 3 weeks of being in the clinic, I started sleeping almost probably more like a week into the program. And then from there, it seemed like every day I was getting better and better. And I had energy again. I wasn't waking up crying. I think I had one night where I woke up and I had gotten nauseous again. And I just thought, okay, just stick with this. And so I stayed down there for a month, and I did fulfill the vitamin C and the UBI. And just felt better. It's kind of funny because when you feel really lousy, it's all you think about, and it's all you focus your energy on, And then when you're better, it's like you don't worry about it. So it's like it's almost like you take your well-being for granted in a way. But having just come off of this horrifying period of my life, it's still fresh on my mind big time, so I'm constantly reminding myself, of how nice it is to feel well again. So I think that's my story. And oddly enough, I should have never been on TSH, which was my thyroid thing prescription the other doctors had me on. All I'm doing now is the T3 and T4, and I feel like that's going to continue to get better. I feel like not completely out of the woods. I think it's going to be a lifetime maintenance thing, and now I focus my days on detoxing, eating very clean, doing the enemas, and I've been doing saunas and sort of just continuing to work all the toxins out of my body Yeah, and and I have high levels of mercury, which is another issue that we're working on, and yeah.
Well, it's
yay to
a
well-being.
beautiful story. Yeah, definitely. Yay to well-being. I love it. Well, this is just beautiful, really beautiful. Is there anything that, if I just took this recording and put it maybe with a picture of you on YouTube or a video site and just, did it like that, is there anything that you would want to say about the doctor, or anything that you'd like to say to other people, either about your treatment or about the doctor, that, about what to experience or what to expect?
I think the thing to expect is to feel better. She kept asking me, how do you feel? And it was like, well, I feel better. So that's the expectation for people, to feel better, to be well, to get well. There's always underlying causes, and I think she's got an amazing grip on what those underlying causes are. So, yeah, I would say that Dr. Mather has a great grip on what the underlying causes of different ailments are. I mean, and she knows how to attack them with the UBI and the ozone.
Yeah.
So I love it. And what's great is that it's, after researching these things, that they've been around for a long time. And I don't understand why it's not more, I would say, for lack of better words, more mainstream for people.
Right.
To be able to access for their health.
Right.
And my hope would be that the insurance industry gets on board.
Yeah.
To covering these things, and that more people can utilize them.
Yeah. Definitely, I agree with you. Well, I'm so excited to talk to you, and it's such a delight to hear your story. Is there anything else that you would want to tell, like a new patient who was thinking about coming here? Anything else about what you're excited about? Anything?
I would just say it made me well again, going from not sleeping for 2 months and vomiting every morning and these extreme symptoms I had to where I'm at now. I mean, it worked for me. The testimony to, and this is after many doctors and trying many different avenues. So, yeah, I don't know how to what else to say. It worked for me. It healed me. It made me better, and I will continue to follow this protocol and maintenance myself from here on out for the rest of my life.
Amazing.
So she taught me a lot, and I am very grateful for that.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.